crafty friends, welcome back to my channel and my craft room. I'm Kelly Wicker and I'm so excited to have you here. In this video I'm going to be showcasing February 2025 clubs from Spellbinders. I posted a video earlier in the month showcasing the clubs for February, and I had made 2 cards and I said I'd make the second card, so this is the video for that. And I'm really anxious about this, let's say, because I had a bit of an anxiety attack when I was posting this, that things weren't going well. So I figured I'd go ahead and still post it. Why not, right? So I hope you all enjoy it. Let me know. So stay tuned to see how I make this card. Thank you all for watching. Alright y'all, I am so excited for today's card project because I'm diving back into the Spellbinders February 2025 Clear Stamp and Die of the Month Club. And let me tell you, I just can't get enough of this set. If you caught my first February club video, you saw me share 2 adorable Easter/spring cards. And today I'm going to show you exactly how I made the second one. I just love Easter and springtime, and this stamp set is seriously too cute, y'all. Let me bring it up to the camera so I can show you. It has some really fun Easter spring images here to color in. It has some chickens, some bunnies, and some flowers. And it has some great sentiments along with it that say bright days ahead, warm Easter wishes, setting spring smiles, springtime magic enclosed, step into spring, and hello. And this set is called Spring Smiles. And remember, it comes with coordinating dies, and I'm here for that. So along with the stamps, I'll be bringing in the 3D embossing folder of the month club, and this is called Petite Bow. I love Spellbinders embossing folders. I love how big they are, which adds the perfect bit of texture, plus a few more dies to bring in everything together. We're going to be using a new die that just came out recently. This is called the Perfect Touch Arches Edge dies. We'll be using the 3rd one in the set here. These are really great. And then we're going to be using some older dies. This is the Delights Picket Fence die for that classic spring feel. We're going to be using the fence, not the grass, but the fence. And then, of course, I'm going to be bringing in my trusty A2 Matting Basics A die set because y'all know I use this one all the time. And one of my favorite parts of this project is I'll be watercoloring some of these fun Easter images with my Altenew watercolors. These watercolors are so vibrant and easy to use, and they add such a soft, pretty look to the stamped images. I can't wait to show you how I bring these little Easter elements to life. These are the main supplies I'll be working with, but I'll be pointing out other tools and goodies along the way. And just a quick reminder, if you love any of these products, you can shop them using my affiliate links in the description box below. Shopping through my links helps support my channel at no extra cost to you, and I truly appreciate it. Alright, let's get into the card making fun, and I can't wait to show you how this card comes together. Today I'm starting off by heat embossing my stamped images because I'll be watercoloring them, and heat embossing makes a huge difference. The raised edges created by the embossing help contain the watercolor, making it easier to control where the color goes and preventing it from bleeding outside the lines. I just finished treating the watercolor cardstock as you saw me do there, and I'm using watercolor cardstock from Spellbinders. It's a nice thick cardstock with lots of texture and perfect for watercoloring. Okay, so I just was treating the cardstock there with my anti-static powder tool, and that's because I'll be heat embossing. The powder helps prevent stray embossing powder from sticking where I don't want it, so I get a clean, crisp stamped images that are ready for watercoloring. Here I'm just laying my stamps down onto the MISTI stamping tool, making sure there's enough room to die cut them out later. I always like to double check the spacing before stamping to avoid any tight cuts. I just love these cute little Easter images. They are so fun and perfect for springtime crafting. I'm getting out my VERSAFINE CLAIR Nocturne ink because it's a great ink for stamping, especially when I want crisp, dark impressions. I think I stamped the images 3 times to make sure I got a nice solid black outline, which will look amazing once I start watercoloring. You see me using my stamp pressure tool here to help evenly apply pressure, which really makes a difference in getting a good ink transfer. This tool helps ensure the stamp makes full contact with the cardstock, so I get a nice crisp impression without having to press too hard. I normally prefer Tim Holtz Distress Watercolor cardstock because it's pure white and not as textured as this one. But since I'm playing with Spellbinders products today, I figured I'd go ahead and use their watercolor cardstock. It's always fun to test out different brands and see how they work with different techniques. I'm getting out my Lawn Fawn stamp chamois to clean my stamps before putting them away. This is such a handy little item to have in your craft room, quick and easy. I also keep mine in a case I found on Amazon, which helps keep it from drying out too fast. If you're interested, I'll have both the chamois and the case linked below in the description box. I almost wasn't sure about posting this video because so many things went wrong while making this card. At least I think they were wrong. Anyways, it was definitely one of those projects that had me stressing out and pushing my anxiety up. But I just kept pushing through and I was determined to get her done. And in the end, I'm glad I stuck with it. Let me know when you start noticing the mistakes, if you can tell there's any mistakes. I think most of them happen later in the video. The stamps are all clean and put away now, and I have to say, I really like staying better organized, y'all. It really does help keep my mind clear and focused. Now I'm getting ready to sprinkle on the embossing powder. So I'm using Hero Art's clear embossing powder. I put down a piece of copy paper to catch any excess. So now I'm taking the embossing powder and sprinkling over the whole image here and doing this to all the images. Yep, using a little too much, but that's okay. I have a lot of clear embossing powder. And this stuff really lasts forever. There we go. And then I'm going to tap off the extra powder right onto the paper. So far it's looking great. And then I'm going to funnel the leftovers back into the container. This stuff will really last forever, seriously. Now it's time to grab my Wagner heat gun here, and we're going to melt the embossing powder. This step always is so satisfying to watch, as the powder magically transforms into a smooth, glossy, raised finish. Okay, y'all, now it's time to grab my Wagner heat gun, and I'm going to melt the embossing powder. This step is always so satisfying to watch, am I right? As the powder magically transforms into a smooth, glossy, raised finish. The heat embossing helps lock in the stamp design. It's going to make it more crisp and defined, while also adding a slight resist effect, which is perfect since I'll be watercoloring over these images. This technique really helps keep the colors contained within the lines. It really gives the final project a clean and polished look. I mean, check that out. It got a little blurry there. That's okay. I think, there we go. Now it's fixed. All right, let's get on to the watercoloring. Y'all know I love easy watercoloring. Honestly, this method is so much faster and more forgiving than coloring everything with my Copics. Don't get me wrong. I love my markers because I spend a lot of money on my markers. But sometimes I just want something quick and easy and relaxing. Okay, I'm using my Altenew watercolors, which I've had for years, and as you can probably tell, they are very well loved. These paints are so pigmented and blend beautifully, making them perfect for this type of project. I love how they give that soft, hand-painted look without too much effort. Since this part takes me a while, I went ahead and sped it up quite a bit, and I'll put on some music so you don't have to sit through my rambling the entire time. Okay, y'all, I just love springtime. It's one of my favorite times of the year. There's just something about everything coming back to life after winter that makes me so happy. The flowers start blooming, the weather starts warming up, and there's just that fresh new energy in the air. And let me tell y'all, I am so not a fan of winter or cold weather. It's actually been chilly here in Texas again, and I'm so not liking it. I'm more than ready for warm, sunny days where I don't have to bundle up just to step outside. Spring needs to hurry up and stay for good. Another thing I love about spring is all the Easter and spring-themed crafting. The soft pastels, the florals, and all the pretty spring colors. Seriously, what's not to love? It's such a fun time to create bright and happy projects. Okay, so I have a question for y'all. What's your favorite season and why? I love spring and I do love summer. I just love it when it's warm, anytime when it's warm. But what's your favorite season? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to know. I'm just coloring in the flowers here, and I have to say I really like how the watercoloring is coming together. These Altenew detail paintbrushes are just so good at getting into all the little spaces. They're really old. I can't even remember when I purchased these guys. I found some Altenew paintbrushes on Amazon, and I will have those linked below in the description box in case you're looking for some. Okay, y'all, I'm just about done with the watercoloring here. That took a little longer than I thought it would, but it was worth it. It was really fun, and I enjoyed it. So next we're going to be moving on to the die cutting the images out. I am getting out my Anna Griffin Empress mini die cutting machine, and I love this machine so much. It's one of my favorite machines ever. I love this magnet mat that it comes with. It keeps the dies in place so nothing shifts while cutting. That's my favorite part about it. I don't have to worry about taping things down or things accidentally getting misaligned during my cutting. So that is really great. So here I am just lining up the dies and running it through my machine. It's so easy to use. Aren't these little Easter images just the cutest? I mean, seriously, I can't get over how adorable they are. I'm so glad I have access to the Spellbinders Clear Stamp and Die of the Month Club, because getting a new exclusive stamp set every month is just so much fun. It's like a little surprise in the mail that keeps my creativity going, and I love having fresh designs to play with. I love Spellbinders dies because you don't have to worry about cutting them apart or dealing with sharp metal pieces like you do with some other brands. They come ready to use straight out of the package, which makes crafting so much easier. I also love how they cut out so smoothly and cleanly no matter what kind of paper you are using. I'm just about done with the die cutting, and I love how quick and easy that was. It was just so smooth, which always makes me happy. Now I have a few larger dies to cut, so I'll be switching over to my P6 die cutting machine since it can handle the bigger dies with no problem. I'm getting out my A2 Matting Basics die set and using the largest die to create the main layer of the card. For this I'm using my go-to cardstock hammer mill in the 100-pound weight. I'm running it through my P6 die cutting machine, following the instructions on the universal plate system that works with my machine. This die set is such a staple in my craft room. I reach for it all the time. Okay, now I'm getting out the Perfect Touch Arches Edge dies, and I'm using the third arch die in this set. This die is perfect for creating a focal point on the card, framing the main design, and adding a nice layered effect. The whole time I was sitting here die cutting, something just felt so off, y'all. I kept questioning what I was doing because it just didn't feel like it matched the original card design. The edges felt too thin and it was driving me nuts, but I decided to just keep going and see what happens, even though it was causing me a bit of anxiety because it didn't feel right. At some point I realized what I did wrong, and I ended up fixing it later on. The issue was that it didn't fully cover the card base, and that's when I started remembering exactly what I did the first time I made this card. Do you ever have that problem when you're making a card, like you just know something is off, but you can't quite put your finger on it? I still wanted to keep this in the video because this is real crafting. We all have those moments where things don't go exactly as planned. Okay, y'all, I just brought in the 3D Embossing Folder of the Month Club you saw me use there. I gave my cardstock a light spritz of water, and then I ran it through my P6, and wow, that texture, oh my goodness, it looks amazing, y'all. Now I'm cutting out the fence and then moving on to the card panel where the chickens are going to sit. So I'm using the largest die in the A2 Matting Basics die set here and running it through. And then we're almost done with this part. And then we're going to get into creating the sky and the grass that the chickens are going to sit on. Alright, now I'm going to be cleaning off my blending brush here using a paper towel to make sure there's no leftover color. And now we're going to add some color to the fence. I love how just adding a little bit of ink can bring die cuts to life and add that extra bit of dimension. I'm going in with gathered twigs, but honestly I'm not sure if this is the same color I used on the original card. For some reason, y'all, it looks a whole lot darker here, even though I'm going in with a light hand. I'm not sure what's happening, but we're just rolling with it, y'all. I also brought in my Tim Holtz mixed media grip to help hold the die cuts in place while I blend. It makes such a difference in keeping everything steady. I think this will still work, y'all, and maybe I'll spritz it with some water to see if that helps lighten things up. Seriously, what the heck is going on with this card today? I'm so not feeling it, and honestly, it's making me kind of sad. I even thought about scrapping the whole thing and starting over, but that's a lot of work, y'all. And I've already put so much time into this, so I'm just going to keep pushing through and see where it goes. Hopefully it all comes together in the end. Getting out my Distress Oxide ink and Salty Ocean for the sky and Mowed Lawn for the grass to start building up the background. Even though this card has been giving me a hard time, I'm still pushing through because I know it'll come together in the end. At least that's what I'm telling myself. I hope you can see what I'm talking about with the mistakes I've made. They may not look like mistakes to you, but they definitely feel like mistakes to me. And honestly, I have a hard time dealing with them, with mistakes. It's one of those things where I just can't unsee it, and it bugs me more than it probably should. But I'm still pushing through, because at the end of the day, crafting isn't about perfection. It's about having fun and creating something you love. I'm getting out my MISTI stamping tool to help line up the sentiment, and I'm using my waffle flower grip mat to hold everything in place while I work. This grip mat is so helpful because it keeps the cardstock secure without needing magnets. I'm inking up the stamp with VERSAFINE CLAIR Nocturne ink, which is my go-to for crisp, bold sentiments. I really need this to line up straight, y'all. Otherwise, I don't even know what I'm going to do because a crooked sentiment would drive me nuts right now. I think that looks straight. Does it look straight? I sure hope so after the kind of time I'm having with this card today. Seriously, if it's even a little crooked, I might have to walk away for a minute. It's time to create our note card, so I'm making an A2 top folded card using my Score Buddy and my go-to hammer mill cardstock. I love using this cardstock because it's nice and sturdy, which makes it perfect for card bases. A good solid base really helps make the whole card feel high quality and well put together. Now I'm starting to assemble the card, and you can really start to see what was giving me anxiety here. As I bring in the original card I made, things just aren't lining up the way they should. And the fence color looks so off, y'all. It's just driving me nuts because it doesn't look as good as the first card. I did spritz it with water off camera, hoping that it would help, but it really didn't do much to change the color. But it's okay, I guess. It doesn't have to be the exact same, right? So I must have picked the wrong ink color. It's one of those things that just bugging me, but I'm going to keep going and see if I can make it work, y'all. I finally decided to go ahead and fix the main layer of the card because that's how much it was driving me nuts. I don't know why. I was letting this card get to me so much, but I was. So I'm bringing back in my P6 to rework this layer. The other main layer was leaving a little bit of white frame around the card, and I really didn't want that. I wanted it to fully cover the card front, if that makes sense. I really hope I'm explaining this right. Since I need a piece that's the perfect size, I'm using my distressed watercolor cardstock because it already fits perfectly and will cover the whole card front without any extra white edges. Now I'm going to emboss it and do everything just like I did at the beginning of the video, except this time I know exactly what I need to fix. Just lining things up here, and then it's time to add the cute little stamped images that I watercolored. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. And I just want to say sorry if I seemed a little off in this video. I do have an anxiety disorder, and sometimes it gets in the way of things, but I really wanted to push through and still get this video up, even though it was causing me some distress. I will have all my affiliate links listed below in the description box if you're interested in any of the products I used today. And honestly, despite the challenges, I really do love this Clear Stamp and Die of the Month Club for February. It's such a great set. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe. I am getting so close, y'all, to 1,000 subscribers, and your support truly means the world to me. Thank you so much for being here. All your likes, your comments, everything really helps my channel out so very much, and I truly appreciate it. See you in the next card making video. Ciao for now.